He was not born calm. That is the first thing people misunderstand about men who appear unshakable. Before the silence, before the discipline, before the monk's robe and measured breathing, there was noise. Too much of it. His name was Elliot Renford, and once, emotions ruled every decision he made. He felt everything deeply. Success made him reckless, failure made him furious, love made him blind, and regret followed quietly behind every choice. In his early 30s, Elliot lived in a city that never slowed down. Deadlines, conversations, ambitions, everything demanded urgency. He worked harder than everyone around him, not because he loved the work, but because slowing down felt dangerous. Stillness meant thinking. Thinking meant remembering, and remembering hurt. He believed discipline would save him. At first, it worked. He woke up earlier than anyone else. He controlled his diet. He removed distractions. He stopped reacting emotionally. When people insulted him, he stayed silent. When plans failed, he showed no frustration. When relationships ended, he told himself it was necessary. Others admired him. "You're so composed," they said. "Nothing gets to you. I wish I had your self-control." After a major professional failure, one that cost him years of effort, Elliot didn't shout. He didn't cry. He didn't even talk about it. Instead, he made a promise to himself: "I will never let emotion weaken me again. Not anger, not attachment, not joy, nothing." That promise became his law. He discovered ancient philosophies soon after. Eastern texts, monk traditions, teachings about silence, restraint, and discipline. The words felt like permission. Detach, observe, do not cling. For Elliot, these ideas weren't wisdom, they were relief. He trained himself to pause before every reaction, then to suppress it, then to remove it entirely, and it worked. Pain faded faster. Fear lost its grip. Anxiety softened into numbness. The mind became quiet. But something else disappeared too. Years later, Elliot left the city. No announcement, no farewell. He moved to a remote monastery where days followed structure and silence ruled conversation. There, his discipline finally made sense to others. He rose before dawn, meditated for hours, spoke only when necessary, never reacted. Visitors saw peace. What they didn't see was absence. One afternoon, a young student approached him. "Master," the student asked, "how do you stay so calm no matter what happens?" Elliot thought carefully before answering. Then he said, "Calm is not peace. Calm is the end of reaction." But Elliot felt something unfamiliar after saying it. Not pride, something hollow. That night, he sat alone longer than usual. He searched for a memory, any moment of pure happiness. Something unguarded, something spontaneous. For the first time in years, Elliot wondered, had discipline saved him or erased him? When discipline turns into emptiness, the monastery had a rhythm that never changed. Morning bells, cold air, slow footsteps on stone. Elliot followed it perfectly. Years passed without friction, without chaos, without surprise. And that was the problem. People began to notice something unsettling about him. Not fear, not anger, absence. When someone shared good news, Elliot acknowledged it, but didn't smile. When someone suffered, he listened, but didn't ache. He responded correctly. Never sincerely. The others called it wisdom. Elliot called it progress. One evening, a visiting teacher arrived, older than most, sharper eyes, less impressed. He watched Elliot closely for days. Finally, he spoke. "You have mastered restraint," the teacher said. "But tell me, what do you still desire?" Not because he was thinking, because there was nothing to search for. That night, Elliot felt something unfamiliar. Restlessness, not emotional pain, not fear. A quiet irritation. He sat in silence, posture perfect, breathing controlled, but the stillness felt heavy. The next morning, the youngest monk approached him again. "Master," the boy asked carefully, "is it wrong to feel deeply?" Elliot looked at him. The question disturbed him more than he expected. The boy nodded, then asked, "And what happens when you stop feeling?" Elliot had no answer. Days later, Elliot witnessed something he had not prepared for. A monk collapsed during morning work, exhausted, overworked, pushed beyond his limits. The others rushed to help. Elliot stood still. He observed. His mind noted the situation calmly. His body did not move. When help arrived, it was already late. That night, Elliot couldn't meditate. His breath felt shallow, not anxious, but wrong. He began noticing moments like this everywhere. A bird trapped in the temple hall, a visitor quietly crying, a student trembling during training. Each time, Elliot did nothing, and each time, something inside him recoiled, then disappeared. Discipline had once protected him from pain. Now it protected him from humanity. Weeks passed. Elliot stopped sleeping deeply. Meditation became mechanical. Silence no longer felt alive. It felt sterile. One evening, the old teacher spoke to him again. "Control is useful," the teacher said, "but control without connection is decay." Elliot bristled internally. He didn't respond. He didn't need to, or so he believed. Later that night, Elliot sat alone in the courtyard. For the first time in years, he broke his routine. He didn't sit straight. He didn't regulate his breath. He didn't push thoughts away. And suddenly, without warning, memories returned. Warm hands, a voice calling his name with affection. It hit him hard, not painful, longing. Elliot felt something tighten in his chest, not fear. Regret. He realized the truth. He hadn't trained himself to be calm. He had trained himself to be unreachable. And that was when the silence changed. It stopped being peaceful. It started accusing him.
The moment silence breaks. Silence no longer felt neutral. It felt judgmental. Elliot noticed it first during meditation. The quiet that once steadied his mind now pressed against it. Thoughts he had buried for years began surfacing, not violently, but persistently. They didn't ask for attention, they demanded it. He started remembering moments he had deliberately erased, a conversation he had ended too quickly, a goodbye he never said properly, a version of himself that once reacted without permission. He had believed those reactions were weakness. Now he wondered if they had been proof of life. The monastery prepared for a seasonal retreat. Visitors arrived seeking calm, clarity, relief from their inner noise. They sat in front of Elliot, eyes hopeful. "Master," one asked, "how do we stop feeling so much?" Elliot opened his mouth and stopped. For the first time, he hesitated, not out of discipline, but doubt. He saw himself in their faces, years ago, desperate to escape feeling. He realized something dangerous. He had taught others how to disappear inside themselves. That night, a storm passed through the valley. Thunder echoed across the stone walls. Rain struck the courtyard hard and fast. Elliot stood under the shelter, watching the downpour. Once, storms had excited him. They had felt alive. Now they just happened. And that emptiness finally scared him. He remembered the promise he had made long ago. "I will never let emotion weaken me again." He had kept it perfectly, too perfectly. The next morning, Elliot didn't attend meditation. No one questioned it. No one interrupted his silence. He walked instead, beyond the monastery, into the forest where discipline loosened and routines dissolved. His steps were slow, unstructured, uncontrolled. With each step, something inside him resisted, not fear, habit. Deep in the forest, Elliot sat against a tree. No posture, no breathing technique, no suppression, just presence. And that was when it happened. The emotion he had avoided for decades finally reached him. Not anger, not sadness, grief. Not for a person, for himself. He mourned the moments he never lived fully, the warmth he never returned, the compassion he observed but never joined. Tears formed. He didn't stop them. For the first time in years, he allowed his body to respond without permission. It felt overwhelming and honest. Elliot understood then. Discipline had not removed pain, it had postponed it. When he returned to the monastery, the old teacher was waiting. "You went where control doesn't reach," the teacher said quietly. Elliot nodded. "I thought discipline would free me. Instead, it narrowed me." The teacher studied him. Wisdom without feeling is isolation, and isolation always demands payment. Elliot realized the truth too late. He had built peace by cutting away parts of himself, and now those parts were gone, not dormant, gone. Days later, a visitor asked him a simple question. "Master, are you happy?" Elliot paused. The honest answer rose immediately. No. But it didn't matter anymore, because happiness required access to feeling, and access was what he had surrendered. He had mastered control and lost the ability to feel.
Cinematic minimalist monk aesthetic. A side profile of a monk named Elliot in a dark stone meditation chamber. Dramatic side lighting hitting his face, leaving the rest in deep shadow. Calm expression, ultra-clean composition, dark, moody tones. Close-up of a single incense stick burning in a void of darkness. A thin, perfectly straight line of smoke beginning to waver and break. High contrast, minimalist, deep shadows, ancient wisdom vibe. A wide, cinematic shot of a minimalist monastery courtyard. Elliot stands still as a statue while a man with slumped shoulders approaches. Long shadows, geometric stone architecture, cold afternoon light. Two figures sitting on low stone benches facing each other. Symmetrical composition. The visitor's face is obscured by shadow. Elliot is perfectly composed. Dark, moody tones, ultra-clean aesthetic. Macro shot of the visitor's hands gripped tightly together on his lap. Rough fabric of his trousers, dramatic lighting highlighting the tension in his knuckles. Philosophical storytelling vibe. Extreme close-up on Elliot's eye, a reflection of the courtyard in the pupil. The expression is calm, but a tiny ripple of emotion is suggested by the lighting. Deep shadows, cinematic clarity. The visitor's face in partial light looking down. The background is a stark, empty stone wall. Dark, moody, minimalist. The lighting emphasizes the hollow look in his eyes. Abstract cinematic shot. A dark, smooth basalt stone with a single, sharp, glowing white crack running through the center. Deep black background, dramatic lighting, minimalist metaphor. The visitor looking directly at Elliot. His face is weathered and desperate. Soft bokeh background of the temple. Dramatic lighting, ancient wisdom vibe, heavy atmosphere. Elliot's face frozen in a moment of hesitation. His lips slightly parted, his stoic mask failing. High contrast, deep shadows, ultra-clean composition, cinematic monk aesthetic. Elliot sitting in a dark hall, but his figure is blurred as if moving while the room remains sharp. Chaos within stillness. Moody blue and black tones, dramatic lighting, dramatic storytelling. A cinematic memory fragment. A soft focus, warm-toned silhouette of a woman laughing. The light is golden, contrasting with the dark, cold present. Minimalist and evocative. Abstract montage of deep red and orange light leaks against a dark monk's robe. Suggestion of motion and fire within a cold, dark frame. Cinematic storytelling. Elliot standing in the center of a dark room, a single beam of light falling on him from above. He looks small but grounded. Deep shadows, ancient wisdom vibe, powerful composition. A wide shot of a dark stone corridor. Elliot's silhouette is walking away from the camera.
The scale is massive, making him look tiny. Minimalist, cinematic, moody. Dawn light filtering through a high window. Two monks in silhouette. One is old and bowed, the other is Elliot. Cold blue tones, dramatic lighting, ultra-clean composition. Close-up of the old teacher's face, deep wrinkles like carved wood, eyes full of ancient wisdom. Soft, dramatic light, deep shadows, cinematic aesthetic. An open hand catching a single drop of water. The composition is extremely minimalist. Dark, moody background. The water represents feeling within the vessel of peace. Elliot looking at his own reflection in a dark, still pool of water. His face is slightly distorted. The atmosphere is somber and heavy. Cinematic, minimalist aesthetic. A distant group of monks gathered around a warm, dim light in a large, dark hall. Elliot is in the foreground, out of focus and in deep shadow. A sense of isolation. Moody tones. Elliot standing at the edge of the monastery, looking out at a vast, dark mountain range under a starlit sky. He is removing his heavy outer robe. Cinematic, minimalist, ancient wisdom vibe.